What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers Weekly Tech Podcast. This is episode 219. This episode is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something that gives us a little kickback and, of course, keeps the podcast ongoing. With me is my co-host, Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, Bob. How's it going?
Oh, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
I got mine. Mine's on vibrate. I'm good to go.
Yeah, so it doesn't start ringing there.
Yeah.
How's your week of another week of social distancing and
It's going.
Staying at home and hopefully gaming.
Yeah, like this last weekend, we took a trip on Sunday and went out to a nature park and did some fossil hunting away from people. So it's kind of cool with the kids. So yeah, not bad.
That's good.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been in the house. I did unfortunately have to go to the grocery store, which was an adventure. It always is an adventure, I would say, these days. And I think that because of what's going on, people don't know how to drive and all that.
Yep. I am kind of entertained by those pictures of people with crazy masks and bags on their heads. I don't know if you've seen any of those posts on social media.
I have seen some of those. It's a little crazy, I would say.
Yeah.
But I did actually, I don't even think I told you, we posted it on our story today on our Instagram and Facebook story, but Inwin actually sent us over some masks, which I don't have. I should have brought them up here, but just because with their manufacturing capability, they're able to make masks and they wanted to send some out to, their partners and things like that. So I think that was really cool. Kayla and I had been using just kind of the pullover mask things. But it was just nice to get a nice mask that had the filter in and everything.
Were they the tie back ones or around your ears or what?
Yeah. It's the tie back ones around your ears. And they have the removable filters so you can take the filter out. And they gave us a stack of those, I don't know what that's called, the filters, but that's pretty cool. I mean, just to help us out. It just makes it easier to, and then we can rotate the ones that we have, because when you get home, you put it in the wash and they're machine washable, so you can wash them and all that kind of stuff. You were just showing me you had a pretty cool one. You had a pretty cool mask.
I don't have the one that I bought for myself down here. I have the ones for my kids. They're a little big, but I got some from MetaThreads. So they're
nice.
The cool thing about these is they're cloth, but they're double-sided. So you have a couple patterns. I guess my daughter's, hers is the same pattern on both sides, but it's a kid's candy and snacks. My wife's was this floral pattern one, and they're the ones with the elastic around the ears, which aren't my favorite, but and the nice thing about them is they're doing, if you buy one of their masks, they'll donate 2 plain white ones to medical folks.
Nice.
So,
nice. It's good to see companies doing stuff like that, right? Getting this stuff out there to the people that need it, I would say.
Yeah.
But enough about what's going on. I think everybody's kind of overloaded with that. So let's get to tech, because we have a lot of cool stuff, some announcements and leaks this week, which are really juicy, and a really awesome product if you are stuck at home and you're working from home and you want to be productive. But before we get into that, I do want to say that we do have our show notes. They are linked in the description of the video if you want to follow along with us. But with that, we'll jump right into our first review, which is, again, something that I think if you're working from home, it is just an awesome thing to have. It is the Dell UltraSharp U4320Q, which is a 42.5-inch 4K monitor. Now,
it's huge.
It's huge. We've seen monitors this big. We've seen, obviously, a lot of people repurpose a TV to be this big. I think the one that you have in your setup, how big is that one?
Which, the top one?
Yeah, the top one.
Or the one in front of me? I don't remember now. It's 28, maybe?
Okay, I thought it was bigger than that. Okay.
No, I don't think it's a 32.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 28-inch. And I mean, it's big. I can't, I'm looking at it and going, so 43 is
it's huge.
It's a lot bigger. It's
very, very big. And one thing that I really like about this is, one, this is a Dell UltraSharp, and it's kind of So we don't review a whole lot of monitors, and I don't think a lot of people go through a whole lot of monitors either, right? Like
Right.
you might see more of them with your job, with at work, but like
Right.
when you buy a monitor, it's usually yours for like at least 3 years, if not 5 or longer, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
I had a back in the day. There was the Dell 2001 FP. I don't know if you remember that. It was an ultra sharp. There was like a really nice monitor back in the day. That was, I mean, it was like $800, which was a lot for an LCD. But I had that thing forever.
yeah,
In
I
fact,
think
I still
mine.
have it like on the shelf in my storeroom.
Yeah, I had an old Dell UltraSharp. Was amazing. Same thing. But the thing is, like Dell UltraSharp is like it's just so like you pick it up, it's the quality's there. It's just such a good monitor. And after even reviewing, like 3 or 4 monitors over the past couple of years, like this thing is just, it's like I'm trying to like equate it to something that would kind of, I don't know, make sense. I can't think of it. But
Well,
anyways,
just
it's
like
a
a
really
nice high-end product, right? Like
yeah, it's just a
the
nice.
fit and feel, like the interior of a car, of like, an Audi or something compared to a Chevy or a Ford, right? There's just
Yeah.
those differences that you can tell.
So the whole thing with this monitor, it's made for productivity. They say this is the ultimate productivity monitor, which is perfect. Our review kind of coincided with everything that's going on because a lot of people are working from home and they need to be productive. And it is not curved or anything like that. It is just a normal flat panel, which I hadn't actually reviewed in a while because I've been reviewing all these curved screens. But so it's a little bit of a change there. For how big it is, it's kind of thin. It's not really all that thick. Even the stand is really thin, which I kind of like. Um, so I kind of like that as well. Like it's just I like it's nice and thin. Old man is in the chat. He's usually in here every week. He said he's working on his PC right now, so he's watching from his phone. So as long as you're watching, we enjoy you being here in the live stream. So the big thing with this monitor when it comes to productivity, and I think you were even talking about this with your work and what you do, is the inputs, right?
Mhm.
And with this, you get 2 DisplayPort, 2 HDMI, and a Type C, which can do the Type C display ports, and that Type C gives you 90 watts of power as well.
Wow.
So you have a lot. So technically, you could do 4 inputs, 4 different clients on this, which is awesome. So you could do, and this has picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture. So you could technically do 4 corners, 4 1080p windows, or you could do 4 1080p inputs from 4 different clients. So if you are somewhere where you need to monitor different clients, you can have all their screens on one screen. You don't need 4 different monitors, which I think is pretty awesome. It's I think it's great. So you have that, and then you what's it called? I'm just losing my mind. Okay, so you have that, and that's kind of like the big thing. But the Type C is really interesting because not a whole lot of monitors are Type C and give you this kind of functionality. The whole thing about that is that a lot of people have a laptop, right? And especially like a new MacBook has the Type C DisplayPort connector. So you can be at work or be traveling and then come home and connect this up to that 4K display and from your laptop with one cable. It's it's just so easy. The Type C, like I've connected HDMI cables to my laptop, like it's easy, but like the Type C is just so much easier. So you can kind of see like here is 2 big windows on this. So I use this for a few weeks, and you can see like that's just so much space for 2 windows, and then 4 windows, which again is technically a 1080p. So I can have 4 separate windows open at once and still be able to,
Well,
go ahead.
Each one of those is almost like a 20-inch screen, right?
Yeah,
because this is that's awesome.
Yeah, so you can, and again, imagine like this is only on one client, like this is one computer with 4 screens, but this could also be 4 different clients, 4 different computers on one screen. which I think is really cool. And another thing I really liked about this, and you can kind of see it in this picture, is that none of these windows are zoomed in or anything like that. You don't, the pixel density is pretty spot on, like
You're
pretty
not using any scaling or anything.
Yeah, you don't need to scale anything with this, which I like. Getting a 4K display, and then you turn it to its native resolution, then you're like, this is this is what I want to see. You don't need to do any scaling. At least I didn't think that you did, which I really like about this monitor. It's just that good. The menu system, which I kind of go through here, is really easy to set everything up and go through the menu system. Super simple. There are buttons on the front of the monitor which allow you to do that. We've seen new gaming monitors have the software, but this menu system is pretty easy to go through, and it's not clunky or anything like that. And it worked really well. Switching between inputs is easy. Setting picture-in-picture is easy. One thing I didn't mention, which I thought was really cool on this as well, is that the on the side, yeah, I'm sure did your old UltraSharp have a USB hub, and then they were both USB Type A, I assume?
Yeah, there were Type A's on the side, I think.
So what they've done is they give you a Type A, which is a charging port, which is really nice. So even if the monitor is off, you can set it to be off, or you can have it be on all the time. So even if your computer's off and your monitor's off, you can still charge a device. And then you have the Type C, which, again, there are only a limited amount of Type C devices, but more and more are coming. So it's kind of future-proof there, which I kind of really like. And then another thing is that in the 42-inch size, you typically see stands that don't offer any vertical adjustment. You just don't, based on the size. With this stand, here's at its lowest point, you do get vertical adjustment, which is kind of nice, because you typically don't do that. And you can, of course, move the monitor side to side. The stand is very heavy duty. You can pretty much move the monitor up with one hand, which I really like. So yeah, it's a great monitor. Again, it is not made for gaming. It's only 60 hertz. So you're not going to do a whole lot of gaming on this. The picture quality is really good. Again, as I said, the pixel density is just great. No scaling needed. 4 different clients, up to 4 different inputs. You have the Type C on there. You have 90 watts of power through the Type C if you want. It's just the ultimate productivity monitor.
Yeah, exactly. Getting a lot done. Like, the only thing I wish that this had on it was, and really this is like a super nitpick, is like if it had an RJ45 on the back and you could use it just as your hub, like, because at work, right, I have a laptop at work and I dock it with just a Type C cable, right, and it charges and does my dual displays and everything like that, and connects me to the wired network. But really, if you're connecting a laptop and you got wireless, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, you can use this thing as a hub, and well,
that's the only thing
that's pretty awesome.
It would have been awesome if this had a KVM built into it, right? Especially if you're doing the multi-client work. You don't want a bunch of, it would just save you wires per se if you just had, it's all built into the monitor. But like I said, it is really good. Again, not really made for gaming. I did game on it. It was very hard going from 100 hertz, which is the screen that's in front of me right now, over to 60. It was not the funnest.
I know we were playing a couple rounds and you're like, oh, I can't play on the 60 hertz.
It's crazy. Like I said, it's as soon as you hit over 100 hertz, you never want to go back. Maybe going from 144 down to 100 isn't bad, but going from 100 or even 75 down to 60 is just, it hurts. It hurts your eyes. But this is not a gaming monitor, so I really can't hold that against them. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It is the perfect monitor if you're like, again, right now seems like the perfect time. And if you want to get a lot done, I was so crazy because I had like, on this quadrant, I had like a music video, which I really never get to watch because like I just have it, I usually have two things here. So I had a music video. I had Twitter here. I had what I was working on over here. I had my notes for my review over here. Like, and I didn't have to move windows around. Like it was just all there in one screen. It was awesome.
Cool.
So definitely go ahead and check that review out for sure. And then we'll go to our next review, which is a high-end SSD from a company you might not think it would be from. It is from HP, actually. And HP kind of got into making SSDs back in 2017. We reviewed their 2.5-inch drive, and this is a M.2 2280 NVMe drive, PCI Express 3.0, and it's priced very well. This is only $289.99 for 2 terabyte right now, which is, I believe, 14 cents a gigabyte, which seems like, do you remember, like, you know, the price per gigabyte a couple years ago was like 45 to 50 cents.
Yeah.
On
and
these
I was,
drives.
Not to bring up another podcast, but like PC Per and Ryan Trout, he was always like, SSDs, we're going to get to that 10 cents a gig, part.
Yeah.
We're there now, for, SATA devices and maybe some NVMe parts. But yeah, it's crazy how cheap stuff is.
Yeah, it's so this is like 14 cents a gigabyte. It is again 2 terabyte, the one that we reviewed. It's based on the Silicon Motion SM226EN, and it has Micron 64-layer TLC flash. We've seen a ton of drives like this. This is pretty much the same. It doesn't, again, if you look at the packaging, like they have this kind of like, it's aimed towards gamers. Like if you look at their marketing materials, it's aimed at gamers. Yet you have this ugly ass white sticker, and it doesn't need, it doesn't overheat, so it doesn't need a heat sink. But even change that sticker to black.
Yeah, just make it black and keep everything else on there.
And again, I know a lot of people are going to cover this up with the heat sink that's included with your motherboard, but still, like, it's a gaming drive. Like, give us something. Right?
It's just that big, huge company mentality, all right, we got the marketing and the packaging done for it, but we still left this label on there.
Yeah. So it's, like I said, it's a great drive. It performs like the ADATA SX8200 Pro is essentially the same drive, just different firmware from different companies. Let me go into our testing here, and you can see it performs very well. You're looking at, under our reads, almost 3 gigabytes per second. Under writes, about 2.5. In some of our tests, we'll go to our Crystal Disk Mark here, and you can see 3200 and around 2400 there. It's what you would expect. And one thing I really like about this drive is that their terabyte,
TBW, the endurance of the drive.
Yeah, the endurance rating is at 650 terabytes, and it comes with a 5-year warranty, not a 3 that you see on a lot of drives that are kind of in this sort of performance type thing like this. And again, around 14 cents a gigabyte, it is a good deal. It does have to contend with that other ADATA drive and some other drives that are based on the same thing that might look a little bit better, things like that. But I think it is a good drive for the price. It's just coming out of kind of left field from HP. This isn't their thing, but they put together a good drive that works well, and it worked great in our testing, which I think is really good. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. Again, it's not the fastest Gen 3 drive that we tested, and it's kind of plain, but for the price, it is a good drive. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. And 2 terabytes, we're getting up there, man. We're getting up.
I know. I'm looking over here at my system, and I've got like a 512 NVMe drive and 2 terabyte SATA drives, and I'm like, I could replace those with a 2 terabyte NVMe.
And the prices will only go down, I think, as we go along here, which is pretty cool. So we'll move on from that to Case Mod Friday. And this week we have something that I would absolutely love to have this in, sitting next to me, or it's just really, really cool build. It's a scratch build. It's called Modern Furniture, which this kind of looks modern. And it's a completely scratch built case, which I absolutely love this end piece right here with the reservoir. That just looks cool to me. Yeah. The accent lighting down here. Some awesome hardware in this as well. You have the 2080 Ti Galaxy Hall of Fame edition, the 10-year anniversary card, which I don't know how many they made, but not a lot. Right there, which I think looks awesome. And this is the the ASRock Aqua motherboard.
Mhm.
You have the Hall of Fame memory in here, but I just think it's really cool that like they custom made this, this whole chassis and everything, and how they kind of highlight the reservoir there. You have the fans over here on the rad. Like, it looks pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. You're not a fan?
No, it's not horrible. Again, I'm the guy that isn't the big fan of these like scratch builds. I appreciate the like craftsmanship, right, and the work that goes into it. But yeah, no, I like that. Like the rad up front looks cool. How it's kind of just hanging there, but it also looks like empty, or like there should have been something else with it. It just kind of, but no, I think it
does kind of sit there. I can say that. And
some of the wood I didn't feel like matched exactly.
Yeah, it kind of looks
the look
of
weird,
it. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again,
I think it's really cool.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. I'm not good at these things. And it's kind of cool that he had like his whole...
I did that. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
They kind of included all that in here as well. It's really cool. So definitely check this one out. This one's from AR. I'm not even going to try to say that. I believe he's out of Japan. That's a Japanese modder, so really cool. Definitely go ahead and check that one out. And we'll move on to news. And we had a new Ryzen processors, which... I don't think we were expecting, but
I don't think so.
You can see why they did it, I would say. So we first actually posted the leak for these processors, and they're basically made to compete with Intel's upcoming Comet Lake, and to make things more... You're getting more for your money. I mean, these are... So you have the Ryzen 3 3300X and the Ryzen 3 3100X. They're both 4-core and 8-thread processors. The 3300X has a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz and boosts up to 4.3 gigahertz. The 3100 has a base of 3.6 gigahertz and boosts up to 3.9. Now, again, 4-core, 8-thread. The 3300X is $120. The 3100X is $99.
That's crazy.
4-core, 8-thread, 65 watts.
65 watts.
Again, like the 3300X will boost to 4.3. I assume you could get a decent overclock at least to 4 gigahertz, right? I mean,
base?
Just like, yeah. Like an all core overclock, like it's not going to be that hard.
A 65 watt part. I think you could put some hefty cooling on that and manage that.
Yeah, and again, these I believe will come with cooling too, because Ryzen processors
just the standard Wraith cooler.
Yeah, the Wraith Spire, right? I thought I had one sitting up there, but I don't anymore. I moved them. But yeah, I mean, it should come with that. So I mean, that's
a pretty good deal.
That is a very good deal. And then at the same time, we also got the announcement of the B550 chipset. So we have, what is it? I can't think now. The that's the other.
X570?
X570, there you go. See? So we have X570 for Ryzen 3000 series. We had B450 for the previous generation, but again, people have been waiting for B550. So X570 is the gamer or enthusiast chipset, and then moving down to the mainstream, we now have B550, which has been announced. And the big thing with it is that you will get PCI Express 4.0. So you're going to get a more affordable motherboard. Then now you have these more affordable chips where you could really put together a great gaming machine. For what? I mean,
because even if you went with that 3100, that's you can't overclock and is $100. You got $100 there. You buy what $100 motherboard probably for B550. You think?
Probably a little bit more expensive. 125? I would say 125 to 150 range.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, you're looking at 250, on the higher end for motherboard and processor, memory 50 to 70, and NVMe. If you're going to go Gen 4, it might be a little bit more expensive, right?
Yep.
And then a graphics card, that's just crazy to think about. And again, from what we've heard, Intel is not going to have Gen 4 on Comet Lake, which is coming at the end of this month. Yeah. And the boards for these will not, like the processors are available now. You can actually order them. The B550 motherboards, and again, you can throw the processors in an X570 if you already have one. The B550 motherboards will be available starting June 16th. So you'll see a lot of those come out. So I'm excited to see those as well. So very cool stuff. I'm super, super excited for that. Just more affordable. We always love stuff that's more affordable.
Yeah.
And leaks. So we had pretty much Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte almost pretty much what they're at least launching with. As far as motherboards has been leaked for Asus or for Z490. So Z490 is Intel's upcoming chipset. That's what Comet Lake S will fit on. Of course, we need new motherboards because the LGA 1200 socket, which essentially is almost the same socket, but that's another conversation to have. So we'll start with Asus. 15 of their motherboards have been leaked, at least somewhat detailed. Starting off with the ROG Maximus, 12 series. We have the Maximus 12 Extreme Glacial, which I'll talk about in a second. Then you have the Maximus 12 Extreme, the Maximus 12 Formula, the Maximus 12 Hero, and the Maximus 12 Apex. Now, what's interesting is we listed 5, you only have 4 here. The Extreme Glacial basically is the extreme board, which is this one right here. It will be white from what I've heard. And then you have the Formula board here. This is the Hero Wi-Fi, and then this one is the Apex board, which has this. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, the cutout there.
That cutout is really
those
cool.
The SATA ports.
Yeah, which are going at different angles, which is weird. But yeah, that is that board. So
I would rather they just work on getting a 90-degree power connection as opposed to like these cutouts in motherboards.
Yes, I agree.
Like
it does look
EVG
cool
does it on a lot of boards, but anyhow, sorry, it's kind of cool.
So a lot of really cool stuff on these boards. Obviously the Formula is the one that has the built-in water cooling ports if you want to use them. But we have those, and then all of the boards for the ROG Strict Series have been released. We have all the specs. We don't have pictures of these. So you're going to have a Strix Z490E, a Strix Z490F, a Strix Z490A, a Strix Z490H, a Strix Z490G Wi-Fi, a Strix Z490G without Wi-Fi, and a Strix Z490i, which will be the mini ITX. And I believe one of these is a micro. Do they have? I'm trying to find it. Yeah. So the Z490G is the micro ATX. The I is the ITX, and then the other ones are ATX there too. And almost all of every ROG Strix board has 2.5 gigabit Ethernet on there too. Under the Prime series, which is their kind of like their mainland series or their just regular series, you're going to get a Prime Z490A, a Prime Z490P, and a Prime Z490M Plus, which is micro ATX. The other two are ATX. And then we see the tough gaming. So the only board that we saw was I forget which one this was called. But we only get to see, this is the tough gaming Z490 Plus Wi-Fi. A little different design, but I do like it for tough gaming. And we actually get some cool RGB elements on this one. Again, that cutout. Yeah, that we talked about there. This is Wi-Fi 6, gigabit Ethernet, USB 3.2 Gen 2, Thunderbolt 3 header, addressable Gen 2 header. What's that mean? What does that mean?
Addressable Gen? Is that like addressable RGB? Well, RGB Gen 2? Not that I've heard of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but we'll see that there as well. So that's with Asus. I actually love their Prime series, so I'm excited for the Prime boards. I'm also excited to see the white version of the Maximus 12 Extreme.
Hmm.
That's gonna be cool. I love seeing all the little buttons and knobs and tip
Yeah,
switches. And
you know, are they going to keep those like because those always have like a silver bezel on them on these Asus boards? I wonder if they're going to keep them that. A white board from Asus will look
they have done it
like
before.
it's
I
been a
forget what they were
while.
called. Yeah. And one thing I actually just noticed here on the Extreme is you're getting two USB 3.2
Hmm.
Gen 2 internal headers, which is kind of nice to see there.
Yeah.
So that's what we have from Asus. A lot of boards. Check out the post because we have all the specs and you can see everything for each one. Moving on to MSI. I don't think all of their boards leaked, but the higher end ones that you really want to know about have leaked. So first and the prices of these have leaked, so that will give you kind of the prices in euro have leaked down here. So at the top end, you have the the Meg Z490 Godlike, which looks awesome. Apparently, this right here is an OLED screen where this logo
Oh,
is.
not just a backlit.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe that's OLED. You're gonna get um the M.2 thing here.
Oh,
Which is
like a
interesting that it says Gen 4 on it. But we'll talk about that in a second. Um, so yeah, it is interesting that it says Gen 4, even though Common Lake CPUs will not support
mhm.
Gen 4. And you have 802.11ax, tons. Two Thunderbolt 3 Type C connections right here, also, which is a lot of awesomeness, I would say, for speed and things like that. Then you're going to have that board also was 960 euros, which is like $1,000. So yeah. Now the prices of these make you wonder if Intel is going to keep parity with AMD, even though it doesn't have Gen 4.
Mhm.
You
Everything
know,
else.
yeah. You also, like I said, so the next board is the MPG Z490M Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. You can take a look at that board. This is a micro ATX board. You're still going to get Wi-Fi in this, obviously. A little bit of RGB lighting. Looks nice. Like I said, it's more the MPG line is a step down from the Meg line, so keep that in mind. You have this is like the micro ATX. The basically the ATX version is the MPG Z490 Gaming Plus. Again, pretty basic kind of layout there. One thing that I also want to say is that all of these, even in the lower end, have your integrated I/O shield, which is nice to
That's
see.
so nice to have.
It's just now that it's like pretty much standard. I just hated installing boards in cases when I'm doing case reviews and like, where the hell is my I/O shield? Now it's just kind of built into all of
Yeah.
these. Even
Now that one doesn't,
yeah,
but
the Z490A Pro, which is like really their more budget line, none on there. But again, this should give you kind of an idea what to expect from MSI. And then we have the picture's not big, but we have prices. The Godlike again is 960 euros. You can kind of go down through and see again the Z490A Pro, which is this, will be 200 euros, at least according to this leak. So again, something to think about when it comes to pricing. And again, you're going to get at least.
Andrew in chat was asking if the PCI slots are still going to be 16 by 1, 8 by 2, etc., or will they finally have 16 by 2? And like on the Asus boards, or at least some of them, they will have multiple by 16 slots, according to the spec overview. On some of those.
Yeah, it all depends on how many. So your top slot will always be X16.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how many PCI lanes that you have, which not off the top of my head, I don't know how many PCI lanes you're getting with Comet Lake. I'm off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But yeah, like take a look at the specs sheets and they'll tell you what you'll be able to get on that for sure. And then we will move on to Gigabyte, and they had their Aorus boards, which I'm
Those look pretty
excited for. Yes, their Aorus boards, which I'll try to bring it over here.
I mean, it doesn't even look like a computer almost anymore with that everything just covered up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one thing that was interesting about the Gigabyte boards is that their boards say they support PCI Express 4.0 with limitations, and they haven't described what those limitations are. But my guess, and this is what most people are saying, is that Common Lake S will not support PCI Express 4.0. They will not. So for this first generation of processors, you're not going to get PCI Express 4.0. Now, when Rocket Lake comes out, which will either be 11th gen or 10th gen refresh, I don't know how they're going to do it, it will support PCI Express 4.0, and it will fit into the LGA 2000 or LGA 1200 socket.
I think that's probably
so. They're making the boards ready for that next incremental step. It seems like Comet Lake should support it, but for some reason it doesn't. So you should have it on that next generation. That's what we've kind of gathered out of all this. But moving on to the motherboards, we have up front, we have the Z490 Aorus Extreme Water Force. This is the one that has the built-in mono block for the CPU in the VRM, as well as the chipset. This is kind of like an updated design. If you saw their Z390 Water Force, looks great. Basically, the entire board is covered. I mean, you can't see anything really.
Yeah,
which I kind of like. I kind of like it.
My only concern is like fans, right? You have to pop off panels and maybe route cabling for it, because I don't see any fan headers. Or
maybe
anything, but they could definitely be underneath and be, oriented 90 degrees so that they're popping out the sides.
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
they're up top and we don't see them.
Yeah.
Or like this, like it looks like there might be connections coming out the side here.
I mean, they could be anywhere, but it's just crazy not to see really any of the board components.
Yeah. So yeah, that board looks awesome. And then coming down, we have the Z490 Aorus Master. This looks more like a normal motherboard. I really like their design with it. They change these up every once in a while, like every series, but this looks really nice. You have all of the integrated M.2 covers, which I think is this looks so good. Looks like you have some pretty hefty, and like if you look at the fin,
not just a solid piece of aluminum or something.
Yeah, you have the fins, which should help better with VRM cooling. You can kind of see it there. So you have that one. And then after the Master, you have the Z490 Aorus Ultra. It's a slight step down, just like what we saw. So it goes Master, Ultra. Again, slight step down there. And then you have the Z490 Aorus Pro AX. That's another step down. You can see the top M.2 does not have a cover. These are kind of covered, and then you don't have, you have more legacy ports here. You have 2 Gen 1s, things like that. And then you have one that I'm really excited about. This is the Z490 Aorus Ultra. Z490i Aorus Ultra, sorry. That is the Mini ITX. I love Mini ITX. Just, they can throw so much on these. And you can obviously build an awesome little system. So you have that one. And then we have a newcomer to this, which I'm happy for, and I'm sad at the same time. So this is the Z490 Vision G. The Vision series is their new, made for creators type deal. So it has sort of like this steel, it kind of reminds me a little bit of ASRock's Steel Legend motherboards. Obviously a little bit more higher end, but it has this sort of like steel kind of design, but
I like the look for sure.
I do like the look. It makes me sad because I think that they're not going to make Design Air boards anymore. And I love the Design Air boards. They were awesome.
Yeah. I wish they'd make them for AMD systems, but
yeah, Design Air was like one of my favorite series. But that's what you're going to have from Gigabyte. Really, really excited for this Vision G stuff. Just because it's every time you bring in a new series, at least for me, like I'm a motherboard guy, I get pretty excited for that stuff. And then Video Cards made a little graph here that shows the different features and what boards have what. Then you guys can go ahead and check all of that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But really cool stuff there as well. So lots of boards coming. I'm excited, man. Lots of.
I know. I saw when we posted that article, and it was 15 Asus motherboards. I'm like, for one chipset, like, that's
how much. I mean, usually it's, and the thing is too is like, on that Gigabyte list, you still don't have just the Gigabyte boards. Those are
those just Aorus.
Those just Aorus and that new Vision. So you have a lot coming, which is pretty awesome. So I'm excited, and we might have some of those to show you guys. So we'll just leave it at that. And so one thing that's always been a pain, and I'm sure you've noticed it at this podcast, is that if I'm talking sometimes and then Ryan is looking something up,
blame it on me. Huh?
No, it's just a joke. You hear his keyboard, or you're playing a game with friends, and I mean we're going to be playing games after this. Like you can hear somebody's keyboard, and if you're a professional gamer, like I used to play with some professional gamers, and they're like, you have to turn your mic sensitivity down. Like you have to, because I can hear a keyboard and it's so annoying. Or things in the background, or say like Ryan's kids come in and you can hear them, or a dog barks. Like things mess up streams, things mess up recording, whatever. Mm-hmm. So Nvidia came out with this new thing called RTX Voice, which basically uses AI to remove background noises picked up by your microphone, which is really cool. So basically, according to Nvidia, and we'll get to the second part of this, but according to Nvidia, you need an RTX graphics card, and you need one of their, I think it's like 3 drivers ago, but one of their latest drivers, and then you need to download the Nvidia Voice app. So basically, it uses, according to Nvidia, it uses tensor cores to do this AI stuff and take out the background noise. So what we've done is Brian and I have both installed this, and we have it working. And yeah, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead and let me bring you up. Or I don't think I can bring you up. No, I can't.
Oh, you can't make me full screen. That's all right.
No.
So obviously I'm talking and you can hear that just fine, but I have like my shaker with a drink, and I've got ice in it as well. So like it's obviously going to make noise. So I'm just going to do this like without talking, and you won't be able to hear it, but it's going to make noise in my room. So
that is crazy.
So you can't hear that, right?
Yeah. So now everybody who's listening,
if I'm talking and shaking it, can you hear it? You can't hear me shaking it, right? You can just hear my voice. Is that correct?
That is insane.
It's nuts.
For everybody listening on audio, Ryan is shaking like a shaker cup. He has his G Fuel or whatever he's drinking.
Yep.
And he's like literally shaking it in front of the microphone. Go ahead and do it again.
Oh, put the lid back. Yeah. And I have ice in there. I'm shaking it as I'm talking. So it's keeping my voice, picking up my voice, keeping that in the stream, but filtering out the shaking sound of the ice shaking around in my cup and clearing that out. So
that's crazy.
Like
I'm like blown away because so Brian was telling me about this. He's like, you have to install it, you have to try it, and I'm like, because I have this Razer headset which has this mic on. I can't even get which has this mic on it, right? And this mic gives you the feature to have the noise cancellation, and I've installed it, and it will cancel out background noise. But when I talk, you can hear that background noise. Or it cuts me off a little bit too, right? Mm-hmm. And I had that Aorus monitor, which did the same thing. It had microphones on the monitor, and it would do it, but it never did what this does. So on all of those, if you're shaking that, I can hear that because it wants to pick up my voice at the same time. Mm-hmm. So whatever this is doing is crazy to me. Like
Barnacle had like a hammer at his desk, and he was like banging on his desk while he's talking. You can't hear it. He's got a fan blowing right at the microphone, and then he had like a leaf blower blowing at his face, like super loud. And you enable this, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Nvidia listed compatible applications for this: OBS Studio, XSplit, Twitch Studio, Discord, Google Chrome, which we're using it in right now. Skype, WebEx, Zoom, Slack. It's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't look at that list too close, so I guess that makes sense because we're using it here in StreamYard, and it was compatible. But I guess since it's compatible with Chrome, that I That makes sense.
That's just what, like, I wish I had something loud that I could shake. I don't really have anything.
I mean, like, what if you clap?
Can you hear that?
No.
You can't hear me clapping.
No, I cannot.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That's literally insane to me because like the noise canceling microphones, if you were talking and doing something, you could always hear it. Now, if I wasn't talking and I was clapping, you wouldn't be able to hear it in those. But if I was talking, like I'm talking right now, and you can't hear this.
No, I can't hear you clapping. Like I'm clapping right now and talking at the same time. It's insane.
This is one of the coolest things I think we've ever talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because like, how is it doing?
It's amazing.
It's crazy to me.
I mean, it's fast enough to separate that sound away. It's got to be. I don't know. It's magic.
Like Shinny, I know. Like this is like Shinny just said in the chat. Holy, like it's voodoo. This is voodoo. Like this is voodoo, guys. Like I wish you could hear that.
It's so crazy. I don't know what. I don't know what to say. like I want to find out things to make sounds with. How can I break this and like?
And what's crazy is like I saw this story and I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's just like it's like you think it's the normal PR, like it's just something, and it's black magic. Like it's crazy. It is crazy that it works so well, and that I don't have to worry about. Say like we have a dog, if the dog's barking, like I don't have to worry about typing too loud on my awesome mechanical keyboard. You don't have to worry about like farting or burping or like any of the things that you would have to hit mute for. You know what I mean? Most of the time, it's just like, it's crazy. So initially, NVIDIA said that you need an RTX card. So everybody who has an RTX 2060 and above, you can use this, but if you had something below that, you couldn't use it. Sydney said that we were fake clapping. But it looks like people. Wait, did I not put? Oh, okay, I did. I was gonna say I didn't put it in the notes. So it looks like people were already able to edit the.
Can you hear me? Could you hear me coughing? Could you hear me cough?
Yeah, I could.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I can try. Ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you can hear coughing.
Yeah. It's junk.
But But it looks like people have edited the app or the driver so you can use it on a GTX graphics card. Now, if you use it on a GTX graphics card, it will work, but it will kind of crush your memory. It looks like, but it's because it doesn't have your older graphics card does not have those tensor cores. So that's something, it's using your system memory. People were able to get it to work on a GTX 1080, a Titan, even a GTX 750 Ti.
Cool.
Quick sneeze. You have to do a quick sneeze now.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so this seems like really cool tech. Again, it's like voodoo. It's like, what is this? Like, how is this doing this? Because again, I'm so used to active noise canceling microphones that will take out the background noise, but it's also more or less turning your volume down. But with this, it's taking out that sound. I don't know how it's processing it so fast that it's in real time. Like it's
just like they do graphics, right? Like, I mean, you react and you're aiming at stuff and it's doing it in real time. So they just do it with audio, but it's crazy that it just peels away from the audio that it's pulling it. And it's like, you don't have to use a special mic.
The only requirement, at least according to NVIDIA, the only requirement is a RTX card. People have already hacked it where you can do a, oh God, there's a huge spider coming down. That's scary.
I couldn't hear him like walking if he's.
No, I don't know where it's going. It went behind my monitor. It's like a big one too. I need to like get something to kill it. Hopefully it doesn't come up my monitor. It like literally disappeared behind my monitor. That's not scary. Anyways, well, I don't even know what we're talking about now. I just got scared.
Just the audio in general.
Yeah, so it's doing all this. So again, if you have an RTX or GTX card, you can do this. This is like another reason to buy an NVIDIA graphics card, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that, like, again, I saw the article and I was like, this is like, whatever, it's PR. It's just something. It's going to make me sound better, but it's not going to do what it actually does, but it actually does that. And that's crazy to me. So yeah, guys, if you have an NVIDIA card, go ahead and download it. It takes literally 2 seconds to set up. And yeah, use it. I'd use it for sure. And we haven't noticed any time where it doesn't pick us up and it doesn't, like Ryan and I were testing it earlier, like where we can't hear each other through voice chat or anything like that. So,
right.
So yeah, I keep on looking for this spider, man. It's
freaking out.
Well, yeah,
take over. Man.
It was decently big, and it's just scary. That's all. But yeah, so talking about NVIDIA, one bad piece of news lately is that more game developers and publishers have left the GeForce Now program. It seems like they're not going to have anything left.
That's how it feels.
So on April, so all of these companies announced that on April 24th, they're leaving the service. So Warner Brothers Interactive, Xbox Game Studios, Codemasters, and Glee Entertainment will be leaving on April 24th, which is crazy. Again, we saw Blizzard, Bethesda, 2K also go.
That's
City said, I thought they was lying, but they ain't. I know, it's crazy. This NVIDIA, like I said, the NVIDIA Voice or GTA or whatever they're calling it is insane. It's just crazy. So, but yeah, GeForce Now just seems like everybody's leaving the service. They have confirmed Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red games, but besides that, there's not a whole lot of games that are on there to make it worth the money per se. I think it's $5 a month or whatever, but still, it's just like, it seems like there must be something going on there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of sad news there. Andrew said, I have a question about NVIDIA. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. I have a general question about it. NVIDIA GPUs, can they still be used with motherboards with their non-qualified vendor list? Yeah, right.
He's asking, like a 2080 on a workstation board. Yeah, just because it's not on there. Like, there's so many people that'll do they'll buy a cheap Dell on Craigslist or eBay or wherever and slap a better video card in there. And while it may not be on a compatible list or anything, like most of the time it's going to work just fine.
Yeah, that's at least in my experience, because I've got motherboards that had a QVL for memory, and I used memory that was not on the QVL, and it worked fine. So, yeah. Talking about gaming, we were talking about GeForce Now, and now we can talk about Crysis Remastered, which was officially announced and confirmed. Somebody actually found it on their website, which is kind of funny, but it has officially been announced. We don't know what Crysis game will be remastered, if it's Crysis. The latest rumor is that it's going to be Crysis and Crysis Warhead in one, which would be great because there's a lot of great missions in obviously the original game and in Warhead. One thing that's interesting is that you can see it says, oh wait, I don't have this up on the screen, that might help. It says PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, which is really weird, because again, would the Nintendo Switch game be completely standalone? You know what I mean? Would that be a stand? Oh my god, the spiders! I gotta kill it.
Okay, we're not even gonna be able to. Oh, I heard that.
You did hear it?
I heard a smack. I thought we weren't gonna hear
it. It's on the back of my phone. You see that?
You smashed it with your phone. Like, really?
Well, that's all I had here.
I don't have anything. Let it go.
No, I don't like creepy crawlers. That's like my biggest fear. So
taking note.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna get there comes the pranks. But anyways, so again, this game is going to be remade using the newest Crytek or newest Cry engine, which I think is 5. It's supposed to obviously have like crazy high-res textures. It's going to support crazy resolutions. It's going to support real-time ray tracing. But then again, you get a crazy underpowered device like the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which makes
run at a lower resolution or different texture pack.
Yeah, hey, I think it has to be a texture pack, right? Because you wouldn't think they would make a completely different game
for the Switch,
for the Nintendo Switch. Now, I think we talked about this. You were never a big Crysis fan, were you?
Nope.
So you're not excited for this?
I mean, it's not that I wasn't a fan. I just didn't play it, and I never had any interest. So no, I don't have any interest in this remastered series.
I will definitely play it. And obviously, this has brought back the Will It Run Crysis memes, which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you go on Reddit, there's a ton. But I'm excited for it. No word yet on when it will be available. Hopefully it's soon, but we don't know. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's finally confirmed. We've heard rumors for the past couple of weeks. So
yeah, when that Twitter account just like all of a sudden out of nowhere starts,
yeah,
that's always like one of my favorite ways for like something new to come out, where like a dormant account for something that was super popular just like all of a sudden is like, hey, I'm here, and you're like, everybody's like, what?
Well, yeah, that's the way to do it. That's how they get people excited.
Oh yeah. I'm just glad they didn't drag it out too long, right?
Well, I mean, hopefully they don't.
No, I mean like they tweet something and then it's like a month later before you hear anything else. You know, like
yeah, I think
this was like a week.
Yeah, this was very quickly. So talking about gaming, Cougar, who makes we first known them for
keyboards, mice, headsets.
They make keyboards, they make mice, they make headsets, they do make gaming chairs. They announced what they're calling a gaming sofa. It looks to me like a gaming recliner. That's a gaming recliner.
A home theater chair is what it is, right?
Yes. See, here's the thing: is that this is designed, according to them, for people like console. This is designed for people playing mobile games that are just going to sit in it. It's not designed for people who have a keyboard and a mouse, which is fine. Right. I just don't see. I mean, maybe for a kid's room, this would look cool, right, for their friends. But like, are you going to put this in your living room instead of like a normal chair?
No, I would put it downstairs in our like family room, right down here with the TV and everything. But I would love just a black version, even if it's black with the black stitching with the Cougar logos. But I don't want the orange or the pink or the green in my living room. So when like I have visitors come over, right? Like, oh, do you want to sit in that weird looking chair over there?
Yeah. So Shinny said, doesn't a sofa usually include more than one seat? Yeah, I mean, I don't. On their website, it says sofa. I don't know if they did.
Aren't they a German company? Maybe sofa like
I don't know
means.
But that's a recliner. Look at it. It's and it can go fully all the way back.
Just like when you're done, you just like pop back. You're out.
No word on pricing. It comes out. It actually starts shipping today. And then you have the colors. So you have obviously the Cougar orange. You have a pink one, a blue, and a neon green one. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like black on black would look okay.
Yeah. I could see these being set up in like a home theater though. Get 4 of them. They all look the same.
Right.
They don't have cup holders though, which is kind of no cup holder. But yeah, so if you want one of these, check out Cougar's website. We have it linked there, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And that wraps up our news for the week. Coming up next week, we have 2 products. Actually, both are sitting behind me. First, we have, which let me see. Go this way. You can kind of see it right there. That is the NZXT H1. I believe it's 15-liter mini ITX case. So it's very small, made for, of course, mini ITX builds. One thing that's different from a normal case is this. Sometimes you see cases with built-in power supply. This has the power supply built in. It also has a AIO built in. So you don't have to worry about cooling, which is kind of like the hardest part when it comes to ITX builds is finding a low-profile cooler. So they have a custom built, a custom built AIO in there. which is really cool. So I'll be taking a look at that. It's $349 for the case. Again, you are getting a power supply and an AIO all built in. Very cool design, and it's very functional. I was actually surprised because I've taken it apart. You can kind of see the internal layout there. Very, very cool. The way it's set up. Now I haven't installed a system in it yet, so we'll see how this cooling does. Besides the AIO, there's a fan in the power supply, but there's no other fans that come with this. So, and again, the way the airflow is designed, it's not what you would think, air coming from the bottom and being exhausted out. You just have these ventilated side panels, and the top is otherwise it's not the right picture.
It's solid, isn't it?
Yeah, the top is solid, so you're not going to get like like you would think the air coming in from the bottom and going out. It's not like that, so you'll just have to see. I'll have to see. But I'm excited to take a look at it. It's very functional, and it comes with a riser as well for your graphics card. So your graphics card actually doesn't connect to your motherboard; it sits on the opposite side of the case, which is really cool too. And that's all. It's all included and all set up. So all you basically all you have to do is throw in a motherboard with memory attached and connect all your cables. Connect your graphics card to the riser. Connect the power, and there is room for 2 3.5-inch drives. And of course, if your motherboard has an M.2, you can do that. Good to go. So cool. I think it's really cool. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to go ahead and take a look at that, and then I'll also be taking a look at, which again I'll grab if I can.
A portable solid-state drive? I don't believe it.
Yeah, another one. This is the Sabrent Rocket Nano. You can see just
how tiny.
Yeah, so here is the ADATA one that we reviewed recently. You can see it's very small. It is a little bit thicker, I would say, but it's still quite small. This is a 512 gigabyte USB 3.2 Gen 2. You should get, I've been testing it behind me, so around 1,000 megabytes per second read and write. So very, very fast drive. I'll bring up the product page so you guys can take a better look at it. But yeah, I love these portable drives. They're so awesome. Again, you can see just how small this is. I have a 1 terabyte. I don't know.
Was that a button on there?
There is no button.
The logo? It's just like a circle logo. Okay, I was like,
yeah, no button, just logo. But yeah, I made it. This is made out of aluminum. It's just, like there it is next to a credit card. You can see just how small it is. So I have the 512. How much the 512 is? Probably $100, maybe. I'm not going to try to find it on the website because the website's slow. But yeah, I'm really excited. Like I said, I love these drives. They're perfect. And I think because we reviewed so many, we're probably going to do a roundup just to give you guys kind of insight on, which one would be the one that we would recommend or for different situations. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. And as we come to the end of the podcast, we are going to be streaming over on Twitch. So if you want to see us, I guess we're going to play Apex. Finny, are you going to play?
He was saying he was up for being a third earlier. So
nice.
I think we'll have a third.
We will be playing Apex Legends. So definitely it's twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. But we come to the end of the podcast. We talk about if we did anything tech related over the past week. Have you done anything?
I hadn't until today. And I got this RTX Voice thing going, and it's awesome. So I'm going to use it tonight. I already set up all my Streamlabs stuff to utilize that audio source. So we'll see how that goes, see how that sounds, if it cuts out my keyboard clacking and all that. So yeah, I should have some improved streaming audio.
Again, that is the coolest thing that I think we've covered because I'm blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I didn't think it was going to be like it's voodoo. It's crazy.
It's free, right? So if you've got a card or even an older GTX card and you want to modify that file, right now you have this new technology that you can just implement right now. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I was doing that monitor review.
Hang on. Shinny says he needs it because he has frogs in his window. So he's got to be downstairs and have a access window. Frogs.
It's funny. So I was doing this monitor review, and obviously, if you look at the picture and the monitor, it has this cool background, and I was like, I need to find some really cool backgrounds.
I
Like
did mean to ask
wallpapers.
you about that. I was like, oh, nice wallpaper.
Yeah, so wallpapers, like again, you come into your computer and you have this cool wallpaper. Obviously, with all the product shots I do, I want a cool wallpaper. I was like, I need to find a new one, and I haven't really like looked for wallpapers in a while.
Mhm.
But I found this website called wallpaperaccess.com. And it's pretty simple. It's like, I'll bring it up here. It's wallpaper access. And like they have wallpapers for different devices and things like that. Like there's one right here, like Zoom backgrounds. You know what I mean? If you're searching for something, you can type in whatever you want to search. But they have like collections too, which is really cool. Like this one's called 4K dual monitor. So these are made for, dual monitor setups, and you can just go ahead and easily download them. A lot of really cool ones, you can like 4K minimalist. These are 4K for people who like minimalism.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Really cool stuff. And there's a ton of different collections that you can go through. Like there's one for Supreme. There's a PUBG 4K ones. There's a lot more than this is just what's on their main page. You can just type in like, say like 1440p. And there's a collection of 60 1440p ones, that you can just, again, they're free to download. You can, you can type in whatever you want. We play, I don't know if there's an Apex Legends. Let's see, Apex. I didn't type it correctly, but it still came up. So they have, again, Apex Legends iPhones, like 71 Apex Legends wallpapers that you can download. So whatever you're into, I don't know anybody at this website, and I've only used it to download a few wallpapers, but it's worked really well. And it's like finding the, like typing in ultra wide, which is like it's really hard to find ultra wide wallpapers a lot of the times, because it's more popular now. But like again, finding ultra wides, and they give you the actual resolution right here, which is really cool. But yeah, this is the one. I'm actually using this one right now as my background on my ultra wide.
Cool.
It's awesome. But yeah, so wallpaperaccess.com. Check it out. Really cool. If you're looking for wallpaper. So that was my kind of tech thing. Besides that, I'm just working on reviews. And you know what you didn't point out, which I'll actually bring it up because I totally didn't add it to our show notes, is a video we put out this week. Let me try to bring it up here if I can while we're.
And do we have a contest going?
The contest just ended.
Okay.
So our contest for the Saberent Rocket Nano, let me try to bring this to where I want to bring it. That ended Monday. We've already contacted the winner, but he has not contacted us back yet. So we've actually had this with our other contest as well, where somebody doesn't get back to us. We give people 5 days to get back to us. If they don't, we'll send it out to the next person. So if you haven't won, you still have the chance that this person doesn't get back to us within 5 days. So keep that in mind. We will have another contest launching hopefully before the end of this week. So stay tuned for that as well. I didn't mention real quick, so we're going to get to gaming here. So we're just past over an hour here. But I put out a video for the Patriot Viper VPR 100. That is the RGB M.2. The video, we already reviewed this a few weeks back, but I want to do a video because I do think it is an excellent drive and it looks awesome. So that is on our YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. And we're going to get off the game. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we get off here?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I can see you looking up at your screen.
Yeah, I was like editing stream info.
Yeah.
Getting it ready to go.
Ready to so we will be over at twitch.tv /ThinkComputers. So you guys can go ahead and head over there. As I always say, everything that we talked about is in our show notes, which is linked in the description of this, and it should be on all of your podcasting app and software and all that kind of stuff too. So until next week, we will catch you guys later.